new channel which is BioLearn Hub, and in this channel I will be uploading videos to give you some basic information how to get into the reputed colleges for masters and PhD program in India. So I have been through this process before, so maybe I can give you some information which can be helpful for you before applying. So here you can see the beautiful picture from Portugal, where I am doing currently my PhD after doing my master's and my bachelor's from India. So before giving you any much information about different programs and how to apply, I will just show you in brief my career journey, where I have been through, from where I have done my bachelor's and master's, and now where I am doing my PhD. So I started my career with my undergrads and my schooling and my PhD. So I started my schooling in the Raval International School from Faridabad, and I finished my higher education in 2015. And then based on my grades and based on my marks, I was selected in the University of Delhi for my bachelor's in biomedical sciences from ANDC College, and I finished my bachelor's in 2018. And during my bachelor's, like around in my second year, I was already thinking what I want to do further and what are the process that I need to take care before applying for my master's and everything. So I started looking for my entrance exam and everything, and I got admission for my master's in Faridabad from Regional Center from Biotechnology in 2018. And the basic criteria that at that time that I needed to do to clear the entrance exam, which is GS 2018. So this is a graduate study exam which is conducted by TIFR, and based on this exam, there are different colleges that can shortlist you for interview and for getting master's integrated PhD as well. And because I was selected in this program, which was for integrated PhD, and to continue my PhD there after masters, I needed some fellowships from the national agencies, which I think you all apply for, like CSR, DBT, and everything. So during this process, when I was continuing my PhD, I applied for different exams like CSR, JRF 2019, and I was cleared this exam with AIR 33. And then I also cleared the DBT Category 1 exam with AIR 50. And when I was in RCB, I was already thinking, because I have these exams cleared, and to apply to different institutes just to get a better exposure. Because as we know, there are many reputed institutes like TFR, NCBS, ISC to do PhD. So I started applying again, and then I again applied for GS20 exam. And then in 2020, I landed in TIFR Mumbai. And the basic criteria to do this is to get selected from GS 2020. So I gave the exam and I cleared the interview and all the rounds to get here. But because of the COVID and pandemic, I was thinking already to start maybe exploring abroad, how the PhD in abroad looks like and how it's if it's better than India and anything. So I started looking for applications and to move out of India to get my PhD from abroad. And I was applying in Europe basically, and I got selected in Portugal. So here you can see this is a small region which is Portugal, and I selected in Lisbon for the Instituto Gulbenkian de Ciencia, where I did my PhD, where I joined the PhD and I'm still pursuing it. So I will give you a brief idea how you can apply to all these different exams like GS 2018, how to apply for CSR, how to prepare for these exams, and also different exams which are available and where you can use to get into different institutes of your choice. So first I will just give you a basic idea how you can get into the master's life science. So basically I'm talking about life science and biotechnology, but there are different fields like chemistry, physics, which you can also apply, but the criteria, and there are different exams for different fields. So in this video, I'm basically talking about life science. So the main eligibility criteria is you need to finish your undergrads, which can be either your BSc or which can be also 4-year program like BTech. And once you finish this, like when you're already in your final year, you should start thinking about how to apply, because the entrance exam and everything releases in the September or October. So if you don't want to have the gap year, you should start thinking about all this in your final year because most of the interviews are done in the final years. So you know how to apply, when to apply, and then there are different applications which are required to fill for different institutes like GS20 exam, which I already told you, which I also applied for TFR and for NCBS and everything. IIT JAM exam for IITs like IIT Delhi, and also this exam is important for ISC. CUET exam, which is common for central universities, and GET B, which is for biotechnology, which is mainly by DBT Institute, INE CET, which is basically for the AIMS, because now AIMS is replaced by INE CET, and JNUE, which is for the Jawaharlal University, which you already know maybe, and there are others exams. So I will give you in brief detail about these exams and when to apply and what are the different basic dates which you need to be considered. So first, so basically the GS exam which I applied, which I already told you, which is for Tata Institute, and for the basic form is it's also called JG Bills for the biology and interdisciplinary life science. So it is basically conducted by TIFR and it is to give you admission for either MSc, integrated PhD and also for PhD. So the basic exam is the same for all the programs. So you can imagine even PhDs give the same exam like master. So this exam should not be that tough so that master students can also clear their exam. So the basic concept is very simple. They ask you very general questions like you should just have a basic knowledge of physics, chemistry, and any branch of biology. And there are some important dates which you should consider in mind if you want to apply for the next year entrance exam. So applications normally opens in September or October. Like you can see for this year, the application will be released is already released. And the exams usually occur on the second week of the December, but it can vary, but most of the time it's always in December. And once you get selected, so the selection criteria is not much because you have to be selected. To get selected, you have to clear some like above 30 or 35 marks, you should have it. And because this exam, they don't tell you uh, your scores. So you just have to give your best. And then if you think that you will score above 30, you will be selected for the another round, which is the interviews round. So for this, like different institutes will call you for your abstract, for your scientific proposals and everything by January or February. So for this, you have to submit different applications for TFR, NCBS, TFR Hyderabad, and different ISOs. And then the interview starts from the end of February or from March. So just to give you a basic idea, so it consists of four sections. First one is the general aptitude test in which they ask you very simple questions and then another for biology, physics and chemistry. 15 questions each. So they basically test your conceptual things. So you should have basic information about the facts which you learned in your 12th standards and then in the early bachelors, not much. So you should have your concepts very clear what you are talking about and what they are asking. And then if you get this, you can get interview call from different institutes. So you can see the participating institute. It's already around 20. So you can see for mathematical, for the different ISOs, they also take you. NCBS, the reputed institutes, DBS, TFR, TFR Hyderabad, NCCS Pune. So you can go through all the list and sometimes you have to fill separate applications for some of them and for others they will call you by your email to send the abstract and if you are selected based on your abstract you have to go on campus for the interviews. Next, I will talk about the next exam, which is particularly for masters, is the IIT JAM, which is a national level exam. Like you can see, it's a joint admission test from different IITs. So it is mainly basically conducted for different fields. So basically, I will be talking about the biotechnology. So, and it's the same. You should have a basic bachelor's degree to get applied. And the important dates, it's open mainly in September. So for this year, the applications are already open. And if you are thinking to apply, I think you should apply now. And the exams usually occur in the second week of February. And then they release the provisional answer key, corrected answer key, and then the final answer keys in March. And then interview starts from April. And then you can see, so this exam when I gave, so I also gave this exam and I cleared this exam. But based on this, I think you should have some knowledge of physics because they ask you physics and chemistry, not like TFR where they ask you, but it's very general. But for IIT JAM, you should have a base, like strong knowledge of physics, I would say, or mathematics, I would say. So you can see the exam patterns, number of questions that you need to clear, and also it's a mix of multiple choice and the like where you have to give the answers like in section C. So you have to be careful. And in biological sciences, there are not much institute which get admissions for the in biotechnology, but the major institutes are like ISC Bangalore. So IIC Bangalore takes from the IIT JAM exam, so you can, if you want to go for this institute, which you all know that it is one of the reputed institutes for doing your master's and PhD, you should start preparing for this exam because it's really you need to clear this exam. And then there are not much IITs because everything is for other IITs are for either your uh, for your engineering background, for your M.B.Tech, M.Tech, and everything. But like IIT Indore, Bombay, and some of the NITs, they also take you for MSc Biotechnology or Life Science through this exam. And then I will not talk in much detail about other exam, but just to give you a basic knowledge. So CUET exam is basically to get your master's in the basic central university like Delhi, Rajasthan, and Allahabad. So basically, if you are thinking of going to universities for your masters, so I think this exam is very good, which usually occur in July, and then you have to apply in like March, April. You can start applying, and then you can, based on your score, you can get a university to do your to do your masters. And then the graduate aptitude test, which is now like which is uh, newly announced, like it is an entrance exam to get you into the DBT institutes to pursue your postgraduate program. Because like if you know the place from where I did my master's, Regional Center for Biotechnology, earlier it was using the JGPILS exam, but now if you want to get admission there, you have to clear this exam, which is Gate B. And once you clear this exam, you have to go from for the interviews and everything like for other exams. And then it's the GNU-EE. So if you want to apply to the GNU for your masters, there are different exams for different fields like bioinformatics, life science, biotechnology. And if you want to apply to any of these exams, you have to apply GNU-EE for the Jawaharlal Nehru University, and which is mainly conducted online. So all this is about masters, and if you have any question about how to apply for this exam, which I did not describe in detail, please let me know in the comments and I can make another video to give you brief idea about all this as well. And then I will move to PhD life, where I also like have been through this life and I'm still doing this. So basically, if you want to move from master's to PhD, and if you want to do in India, you should make sure that you have a fellowship that supports you for your PhD. And if you know, there are basically like CSR, JRF, like and UGC JRF, which provides you fellowship once you clear their exam. So you have to apply for this exam, which happens like twice in a year, like in June and in December. and then you can apply for this exam. And there are different categories like lecturership, LS, and another one is junior research fellowship. So if you get selected, if you get cleared for LS, you will not get your fellowship. So you cannot apply for PhD, but you are eligible for other things. But if you want to get your fellowship to do PhD, you have to clear the UGC or CSR JRF exam. Like you have to come in the ranks for JRF to get this fellowship. And once you have this fellowship, you can apply for different institutes, because if you know, in India, different institutes have this eligibility criteria that you have cleared CSR JRF or UGC JRF to get into the different universities. And one thing, clearing this exam does not guarantee your PhD. You have to clear the interviews to get into these universities. And the other exam is DBT, which is mainly used to get into the DBT institute, like Department of Biotechnology Institutes for fellowship. And then you can, if like in DB, like from CSR and UGC, in DBT also, there are different categories like category 1 and category 2. And if you want fellowship, you need to clear with the grades which comes in category 1, and you can get admission in that institute. And another exams is GS 2020 or GS 20, different like for every year, which actually happens once a year. And it's the same as masters, but you need to get these to get into TFR, ISOs, and NCBL. And if you clear this exam, you don't need to wait for like CSR, DBT, because they have their own funding from TIFR mainly. And once you clear this exam, you still have to go for the interviews to get clear. So in my next videos, I will give you more information how to prepare for interviews and in detail about each program. And if you have anything, and if you have any doubts and you want to know more about anything else, you can let me know in the comment section. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Thank you.